What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Anime Princess back with the Day 4 update for Crit Spark. In this video, we're going to go over how to get Gigatanky. I've heard some people talking about how they feel their character is quite squishy, and I would advise going back to the League Starter video. There's a little section on defenses, and this shows the priority of the defenses we want to layer on top of each other. And this comes through gearing. Now, in the day 1, 2, and 3 updates, I give some very budget ways to start building on those layers. And today, I'm going to give a budget as well as an expensive option for sort of like a culmination to throw on top of all these defenses to truly make us much tankier. Now, this video, the tech we go into is building upon the foundations we've built from the day 1, 2, 3 gear advice. So don't think you can just watch this video, do this tech, and your character is going to be perfect. You have to build the layers, right? And this is sort of the culmination. So we're going to be talking about specifically the Timeless Jewel that gives us Corrupted Soul. This is a budget option that can cost as low as 34 Chaos currently, although the prices will fluctuate depending on what kind of mod you want to get. And then the aspirational defensive gear, which is what I'm currently wearing, and in this footage I have it equipped. It is the Aegis Aurora shield, and this is truly what you want to eventually have in order to make yourself really like invulnerable in juiced up difficult mapping content. So we have the budget one, much cheaper, and then there is the aspirational one. We will go over both, and I'll talk about how to set these up successfully on your character. All right, first up, we go over the budget option, which is Glorious Vanity. And there are 3 different types. We want the one that reads in the name of Doriani. So we are going to socket this into our passive tree, and it needs to be a jewel socket that has a keystone. So here's a good option. You could also alternatively go down here and grab the keystone here. So I'm just going to put it right here. And as you notice, we gotta select this. Our life pool goes down immediately upon putting this in, but we get a lot of energy shield when we select this. The reason we're losing life is because a side effect of socketing Glorious Vanity is every single passive node gets changed inside this big AoE. And there was a lot of life here, so this life is now gone. I have a video on how to choose the perfect Timeless Jewel, because like the seed number, which here is 4,197, is going to give specific things in here. It's all sort of like random, but there's a video that shows you how to find something that gives you really good things. So when you put this in, it's actually going to change the nodes to be even better. So like baseline though, if you just put in a random one, you probably want to unspec these nodes because likely if they're random, they're going to be not too good. Now, what Corrupted Soul does is it gives us 15% of our total life as extra maximum energy shield. So this is a really efficient way to get a large amount of energy shield, which is going to overall boost our EHP. And Inquisitor has extra synergy here because this also has a line that's normally a downside. It says 15% of damage goes through the energy shield. However, with Inquisitor on our ascendancy, Consecrated Ground, which is our life regen, also recovers energy shield. So this is really nice because whenever we take a hit, we're going to be a little bit energy shield damage, a little bit of life damage. So we're getting double the regen. This feels so good to have. You're so much tankier with this Glorious Vanity. It's baseline 34C. But if you do use the video guide on how to find one that gives you some really good things, obviously you're going to be paying a premium for that. So yeah, this is the budget option if you really want to elevate your defenses to the next level. Now on to Aegis Aurora, which is the aspirational shield that hopefully all of us will be able to get by the end of the league. Now I started memeing on stream. I am wearing an Aegis Aurora, but I reskinned it to look like a really crappy shield. So let's just pretend this has the proper skin on it. So this is the Aegis Aurora. This shield gives us quite a bit of armor, 1,000 armor. It gives us a lot of energy shield too, 200 energy shield. And the main stat on here that makes this so broken for us is the second last line, recover energy shield equal to 2% of armor when you block. So we are a build that specializes in spell block and attack block. And if you get those up to 75% each, you are going to be almost immortal in maps, because 3 out of 4 times you are blocking the enemy hit. And if you have enough armor, it is going to spike your energy shield all the way to the top whenever you take a hit. You know, sometimes you might take really big hits to go into your life, but remember, we have a lot of life regen, and we also will have life steal in one fashion or another. So just having this extra padding where our energy shield is always basically going to be shot up to full from all the small hits is going to feel amazing. Now, in order to gear for Aegis, you are going to want to have a lot of armor. I would say baseline 30,000, because that means when you take a hit, it's going to recharge you 600 energy shield, which is a good number. If you don't have enough armor, your energy shield's not going to go up to full. So let's look at my armor. Right now I'm 17,000. However, with the 2 flasks, I go up to 27,000. So that's pretty good. So as you can see from this, having well-rolled flasks is going to have a huge effect on getting your armor up to 30,000. So the way I do it is I have these 2 flasks. Let's move them over here. So Rumi's Concoction, this just gives us the baseline 1,500 flat armor, which we need. However, it also gives us a lot of attack block. This isn't even max rolled. You can get 12% attack block and 6% spell block. So this is sort of a double synergy in gearing towards Aegis. This is mandatory for Aegis. And this Diamond Flask, the main thing to note is the suffix. It has 55% increased armor. And, you know, when we stack a lot of armor bases, as you can see, we go from 17,000 armor all the way up to almost 30,000. It's a massive amount of extra armor with that small increase. So other ways to get armor, well, Enduring Composure, which we were using in one of the first videos, I don't know if it's update day 1 or day 2, this does give us 30% increased armor. That's quite a big increase. We get a little bit on the tree. There's 20% increased armor from Sanctity. There are other ways to get armor on the tree. I'm not doing it right now. As for the gear, as you can see, I have a lot of armor on my gloves. Realistically, probably you could go for less armor. This is kind of overkill. I'm probably going to downgrade to more damage on the glove, but less armor. The helmet, again, a very good source of armor. Here's 1,000 armor. And my boots, I went for an implicit that has 35% increased armor from helmet and gloves, because I'm stacking armor in both these anyway, so that's going to have a huge difference. You know, find the ways to get armor into your build when you're using Aegis, because it's going to have a lot of synergy. As for attack and spell block, we are spell block capped. You know, there's spell block here, spell block here, spell block here. We're using Tempest Shield, and we have the Rumies as well. So I've really gone really defensive on my tree. Like, sometimes people won't want to take these nodes, that won't want to fully cap, but I'm like over capped right now, actually. Also, on the body armor, you know, I did the DPS body armor crafting guide, and when I was fixing the prefixes, I was trying to, with the Veiled Chaos, target either attack or spell block, and then I'm going to craft on the other one. So as you can see here, we unveiled 8% attack block, and we crafted the spell block. So this is a really good Aegis body armor as well. If you want to look at what my attack and spell block are right now, I have, with the Rumies up, 63 attack block and 75 spell block. It's pretty hard to cap attack block. We may want to look into using tattoos to do that, but I think even 63% is pretty good as a baseline right now. So, you know, day 4 of the league, I'm happy with that. There's still, again, 12% attack block, room for improvement. I am using a Watcher's Eye that gives attack block, as you can see here, plus 7% chance to block attack damage when affected by determination. So this is a way you can sneak in a little bit more attack block. Another one is the Shield Mastery here. This gives you attack block based on the block chance of your shield. So this is quite a bit. I think this is 6% because our shield just naturally comes with a lot of attack block if you're going for Aegis. If you truly want to scale that attack block, I would recommend pathing down here. I did it last league and going over to Command of Steel. There's a bunch of attack block in here. There's also a good crit multi node in the middle. It lets us get Unwavering Stance. But this is for people who truly want to tank up. I am happy. I don't want to spend all these passive points. I think right now this is a good balance of offense and defense. But again, I should mention this is something I've done in the past. Unwavering Stance is pretty good too. As for, would you want to use Glorious Vanity and Aegis at the same time? In the past, I thought this was a decent option. However, my reasoning now for not wanting to do this is, so Glorious Vanity, the mod on it means as you take damage, half of it is going through your energy shield. So the problem of stacking an Aegis and a Glorious Vanity is that if you're tanking hundreds of small hits, if you don't have the Glorious Vanity, you're taking no damage. It's all going to the energy shield shooting back up to full. But if you have the Glorious Vanity in, half of it is going into your life pool, which doesn't get the defensive proc of the Aegis. So this, you might die and you'll still have full energy shield. So I think this is leaning too heavily into the energy shield, and I would recommend once you get an Aegis, just simply removing Glorious Vanity, selling it, putting in some like Watcher's Eye or some other good offensive jewel instead. Another question is, can we go Glancing Blows with Aegis Aurora? So what Glancing Blows is we only have to get half the attack and spell block, but the downside is 65% of damage hits us. I would not go for this because attack and spell block are our primary defensive layers. So this makes it so much worse. I think it's really easy to get capped spell block. And this league with tattoos, I think it's going to be fairly easy to cap attack block as well. I think there's some little tricks in there with a breach jewel maybe. I'm not too sure. I haven't investigated with tattoos, but even if there isn't an elegant solution with tattoos, I'm fairly happy with the attack block I have right now. I can buy a max roll roomies, make it a little bit better. So yeah, that is the defensive tech. I think once you get a Glorious Vanity, your defenses are going to go up by a significant amount. And once you get the Aegis, you are going to be truly extremely tanky when you're doing mapping content. I hope this video helped clear up questions on this build's defense. This truly is one of the final layers we can put on. And please keep in mind, again, I'm repeating myself, you do want to have all the smaller defensive layers, all the cheap budget ones we've done in day 1, day 2, day 3, before you cap it off with this one. This is not just a slap-on band-aid, it's really just a culmination of all the small little improvements we've been making. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be live on Twitch. Look forward to seeing you there. Catch you in the next one.